20 plants that do things you won't believe. Have you ever stopped to think that some plants are almost like nature's superheroes? They don't walk, they don't talk, or they don't wear capes, but they do things so incredible that they seem like magic. Some glow in the dark, others eat insects like snacks, and there are even ones that move when you touch them. It looks like something from a movie, but it's all real. In this text, we will discover 20 plants that do surprising things. You don't need to be a scientist to understand. We'll explain everything in a simple way, as if we were talking at the lunch table. You'll see that nature is full of cool tricks and that even the most common plants can hide crazy secrets. 1. The plant that glows in the dark, like a lamp. Imagine a plant that lights up on its own, like those little Christmas lights. Dionea muscipula, better known as the lamp plant, can do this. It has a substance that glows when it's in the dark, like a firefly. Scientists are studying it so that, perhaps one day, we will have trees that light up streets without needing electricity. 2. The plant that eats meat, yes, like an animal. Have you ever heard of the carnivorous plant? Dionea muscipula, the same one above, is also famous for this. It has leaves that look like mouths with teeth, and when an insect lands on them, wow, closes on time. Afterwards, she digests the animal slowly, as if it were dinner. It's like she has a stomach in her leaves. Another famous carnivorous plant is Nepenthes, which looks like a small cup full of water. Insects fall inside and can't get out. 3. The plant that moves when you touch it, as if it were alive. Mimosa pudica is known as sleeper or sensitive. If you lightly run your finger over its little leaves, they immediately close, as if they were embarrassed. After a few minutes, they return to normal. It's as if the plant has an off button when it feels threatened. Scientists think she does this to scare off insects or protect herself from strong winds. 4. The plant that explodes, like a rocket. Impatiens glandulifera is a flower that, when its seeds are ripe, explodes. If you tap it hard, the seed capsules open with a pop and throw the seeds away, like mini rockets. It's her way of spreading her puppies around the world. If you have one of these in your backyard, you can have fun making it explode, but be careful not to scare yourself. 5. The plant that smells like a corpse, to fool flies. Rafflesia arnoldii is a giant flower that can weigh up to 10 kilos. But the strangest thing is the smell. It stinks like rotting meat. Why? To attract flies, which think it is food and end up pollinating the flower unintentionally. It's as if she said, "Come here, flies, I have a feast." But in reality, it's just a trap. 6. The plant that lives in the desert and stores water, like a camel. The cactus is the king of the desert, and the saguaro is one of the largest. It can store liters of water inside its body and survives months without rain. It's like a walking bottle of water. When it rains, he fills his stock and uses it little by little. If you cut a cactus, you will see that inside it is full of wet goo. It is stored water. 7. The plant that looks like a brain and fools ants. Hydnora africana is a strange plant that grows underground and only appears when it is ready to bloom. Its flower looks like a brain or a piece of raw meat, and it gives off a bad smell to attract beetles. When they enter, they are trapped for a while, and the plant uses this to pollinate itself. It's like she has a bug maze. 8. The plant that makes noise, like a whistle. Ichme disticantha is a bromelia that, when full of water, makes a noise similar to a whistle if you blow on it. It's as if she is singing. This happens because the air passes through a narrow space inside the plant and vibrates the water. If you have one of these at home, you can try making music with it. 9. The plant that changes color, like a chameleon, Oxalis triangularis, also called purple clover, has leaves that change color depending on the light. During the day, they turn purple, but at night or in dark places, they turn green. It's like she has a color switch. Furthermore, if you touch the leaves, they close, like a nightshade. 10. The plant that grows on top of others, like a parasite. Cuscuta is a plant that does not have normal leaves or roots. It wraps itself around other plants and sucks their sap, like a vampire. It's as if she were an electrical wire that steals energy from others. That's why farmers don't like it. It can kill good plants. 11. The plant that makes soap bubbles, like a child playing, Cardamine hirsuta, known as wallcress, has seeds that, when they are ripe, explode and release balls that look like soap bubbles. It's as if the plant is playing with blowing bubbles in the air. If you find one of these, you can poke the seeds to see the show. 12. The plant that looks like an umbrella and protects others. Garnera manicata is a giant plant with huge leaves, which can reach 2 meters wide. It looks like a green umbrella and provides shade for other smaller plants. It's as if she were a protective mother, taking care of her children from the strong sun. 13. The plant that makes music. Yes, music. Some plants, like Mimosa pudica, the same one that moves, make sounds when they are stressed. Scientists use special microphones to listen to these little noises, which look like clicks or pops. It's as if the plant is saying, "Hey, I'm thirsty," or "Don't touch me." 14. The plant that looks like an octopus, with tentacles. Drosera, another carnivorous plant, has leaves full of sticky tentacles. When an insect lands on them, it sticks together like a spider's web. Then, the plant curls its tentacles and slowly digests the creature. It's like she has arms to pick up food. 15. The plant that grows upside down, like a bat, Tillandsia, known as the air plant, does not need land to live. It grows on trees, rocks, or even electrical wires, and its roots point upwards, as if it were upside down. It's as if she were an acrobat plant. 16. The plant that makes coffee, but it's not the coffee you know. Psychotria viridis is a plant that has a substance called DMT, used in indigenous rituals to make teas. But it's not the coffee you drink in the morning. It is most often used in ceremonies and can cause visions. It's like a magical plant. 17. The plant that looks like a mushroom, but is a flower. Monotropa uniflora is a white flower that looks like a mushroom. It does not photosynthesize, does not use sunlight to grow, and lives as a parasite, sucking nutrients from fungi in the soil. It's like a ghost plant that appears out of nowhere. 18. The plant that makes foam, like soap. Saponaria officinalis is known as soapwort because its leaves foam when crushed with water. In the past, people used it to wash clothes, as if it were natural soap. It's like having a washing machine in your backyard. 19. The plant that looks like an eye and scares passers-by. Actia pachypoda has white berries with a black dot in the middle, which look like scary doll eyes. When the wind sways, they move and get scared. It's as if the plant is watching you. 20. The plant that lives for thousands of years, like a dinosaur, Pinus longiva, a species of pine, can live for more than 5,000 years. It's as if she were a dinosaur tree, which saw empires rise and fall. One of these trees, called Methuselah, is over 4,800 years old and still alive. It's the oldest plant in the world. Final summary. Nature is full of surprises. These 20 plants show that nature isn't just beautiful, it's smart, funny, and sometimes even scary. There are plants that shine, that explode, that eat insects and even make noise. Some look like something out of a fictional film, but they all really exist and do things we can't even imagine. The coolest thing is that many of these plants are out there, in our daily lives. Who knows? Maybe you have a sleeper in the backyard or a cactus storing water in the living room vase. Next time you see a plant, take a closer look. It could be doing something amazing right under your nose. So, which of these plants did you think was the craziest? What shines? Who eats meat? Or the one that explodes like a rocket? Nature never stops surprising us. And that's not all. Some of these plants do things so strange they seem like magic. For example, have you ever heard of the plant that walks? Mimosa pudica, that same sleepyhead that closes its leaves when we touch it, can also move slowly when it is in a very dry place. It releases its roots and walks in search of a place with more water. It's like it has invisible legs. Another plant that seems to have a life of its own is Desmodium gyrans, also called the dancing plant. Its little leaves move all the time, as if they were swaying to the rhythm of a song that only they hear. If you watch for a few minutes, you'll swear she's doing choreography. And there's even a plant that looks like an animal. Dionomacipula, the famous Venus flycatcher, has leaves that close like a trap when an insect touches them. But did you know that it only does this if the animal moves 2 little hairs inside the leaf? It's as if she had an alarm so she doesn't waste energy for nothing. If the insect is too small, she won't even bother closing it. Some plants are also masters of deception. Rafflesia arnoldii, for example, is a giant flower that smells like rotting meat to attract flies. She doesn't do this out of spite, but because she needs flies to pollinate her. Aphrys epiphyra, an orchid, looks like a female bee to trick males into carrying its pollen. It's pure cheating. And we cannot forget the plants that are true survivors. Welwitschia mirabilis, which lives in the Namib Desert, looks like a pile of old, torn leaves, but it is actually one of the toughest plants in the world. It can live for more than 1,000 years with just the moisture from the desert fog. It's like a badass grandma from nature. The most incredible thing is that many of these plants are closer than we think. Mimosa pudica can be found in your home garden. Dionaea is sold in carnivorous plant stores, and even Welwitschia can be found in museum greenhouses or botanical gardens. Nature is always showing us that there is no limit to its creativity. So the next time you see a plant, remember, it could be doing something you couldn't even imagine. It could be moving, shining, tricking an insect, or even surviving in impossible conditions. Nature really is a box of surprises, and the best thing is that it doesn't need the internet or technology to be incredible. Just look carefully. And it's not just these plants that surprise. There are some that look like they came out of a science fiction movie. For example, the plant that explodes. Yes, you read that right. Impatiens glandulifera, known as Friar's Kiss or Shameless Maria, has fruits that, when ripe, explode at the slightest touch, sending seeds flying into the distance. It's as if it were a natural cannon, spreading its firecrackers around. If you've ever seen one of these in your backyard, you may have been the victim of a flying seed without even realizing it. Another plant that seems to have superpowers is the bleeding tree. The Pterocarpus angolensis, or dragon's blood tree, has red sap that oozes when the bark is cut. It looks like a scene from a horror movie, but in fact it's just her way of protecting herself from insects and fungi. Some people use this sap as a medicine or natural dye. Just imagine, you cut a branch and suddenly it looks like the tree is crying blood. And how about a plant that makes music? Coderiocalyx motorius, also called the dancing plant or telegraph plant, has little leaves that move on their own, as if they were dancing. But the coolest thing is that, if you place a sensitive microphone close to them, you can hear a faint noise, like a buzzing sound. Some scientists believe this happens because the leaves vibrate when they move. It's as if the plant is trying to communicate. There are also those who disguise themselves so as not to be eaten. Lithops, known as living stone, looks exactly like a pebble in the middle of the desert. She does this to deceive animals that might eat her. Only when you look closely do you realize it's a real plant. Another master of disguise is Bacilla trifoliolata, a vine that can imitate the leaves of the surrounding trees. If she is near a plant with large leaves, her leaves become large. If the neighboring plant has small leaves, it does the same. It's like you have a chameleon superpower. And we can't forget about plants that help other plants. Acacia has an incredible partnership with ants. It offers shelter and food to the ants, and in return, the ants protect the tree from animals that want to eat it. If a giraffe or an insect approaches, the ants attack immediately. It's as if the plant has its own private army. The coolest thing about all of this is that many of these plants are out there, hiding in plain sight. Their exploding plant can be in your garden, the bleeding tree in a park, and the dancing plant even in exotic plant stores. Nature never stops surprising us, and the best thing is that we don't have to go far to find these wonders. So next time you're out for a walk, take a closer look. It could be that that common little plant is actually a superhero of nature, full of tricks and secrets. And the most incredible thing? It does all this without needing batteries, Wi-Fi, or artificial intelligence. Nature is already the most advanced technology there is. And that's not all. There's a plant that looks like it came out of a science fiction movie. For example, Dionea muscipula, better known as the carnivorous plant, or Venus trap. It has leaves that close like a mouth when an insect touches its sensitive hairs. In less than a second, the prey is trapped, and the plant begins to slowly digest it. It's as if it has an alarm and a stomach built into the leaves. Another plant that seems magical is the sensitive plant, or Mimosa pudica. If you touch it, the leaves close immediately, as if it were embarrassed. Even a strong wind or a drop of rain makes it shrink. After a few minutes, it returns to normal, as if nothing had happened. It's like she has a reset button. And how about a plant that glows in the dark? Dracaena cinnabari, known as the dragon tree, not only has a shape that looks like a giant umbrella, but also releases red sap that has been used as paint and even medicine. They say the ancients believed it was the blood of dragons. Today, scientists study this sap to create resistant and even healing materials. But you don't have to go to a distant forest to see crazy things. The mint you use in tea or juice has a simple but ingenious trick. When you pluck a leaf, the strong smell it releases is a natural defense. This aroma keeps insects and even other animals that could eat it away. It's as if she said, "Stay away, I have tear gas." Even the most common plants have their secrets. The sunflower, for example, doesn't just sit still and look at the sun because it's beautiful. It moves during the day to follow the light, as if it were a natural solar panel. At night, it returns to its original position, ready to start again the next day. It's like you have an internal GPS. The most impressive thing is that these plants don't need any instruction manual to do these things. They are born knowing. While we humans need years of study to understand how they work, they just work. And they've been doing this for millions of years, long before smartphones or electric cars existed. So the next time you see a plant, remember, it could be doing something amazing right under your nose. Who knows, that fern in your living room is not only decorating the space, but also filtering the air you breathe. Or is that cactus in the backyard not only surviving the sun, but storing water like a thorny camel? Nature is full of surprises, and the cool thing is that anyone can discover these secrets. Just pay attention. And it's not just the best-known plants that do impressive things. Some are true survival artists, with tricks that seem like something out of a science fiction movie. For example, have you ever heard of the plant that walks? No, it doesn't run around the garden, but Desmodium motorium, also called the dancing plant, moves its leaves slowly, as if it were stretching. If you touch it carefully, the leaves move even faster, as if they were playing hide and seek. Scientists are still not sure why this happens, but the most accepted theory is that it does this to scare away insects that want to eat its leaves. It's as if she said, "Get out of there, I'm not easy food." Another plant that seems to have superpowers is Mimosa pudica, the famous sleeper. If you touch it, the leaves immediately close, as if it were embarrassed or scared. But it's not just drama. This movement helps protect its leaves from predators. Imagine a little animal trying to eat it and, suddenly, the leaves disappear. It's as if the plant has a stealth mode button. And the coolest thing is that, after a few minutes, the leaves return to normal, as if nothing had happened. And how about a plant that glows in the dark? Dionaea muscipula, or carnivorous plant, is already famous for eating insects, but some species of fungi and bacteria that live on plants can emit a greenish light, as if they were small natural lanterns. This happens because of a chemical reaction within them, called bioluminescence. It's as if the plant is saying, "Look, I'm magic." Unfortunately, it's not easy to find these glowing plants out there, but in some humid tropical forests, like the Amazon, you can see this light show. And it doesn't stop there. There's even a plant that screams when it's thirsty. It's not a real scream, of course, but scientists have discovered that some plants, like tomatoes, emit ultrasonic sounds when they're stressed, for example, when there's a lack of water. These sounds are so high that we cannot hear them, but other animals and even other plants can hear them. It's as if they were asking for help. "Can someone give me some water, please?" This shows that plants are not as quiet as they seem. The amazing thing is that many of these abilities were discovered by chance. Someone noticed a plant moving, shining, or making noise and thought, "Wow, that's strange." And then he started investigating. This proves that nature is always surprising us, and that we don't need supermodern laboratories to make discoveries. Sometimes, we just need to observe with curiosity. So, the next time you pass by a garden, a park, or even a little vase in the window, remember, those little plants could be doing much more than just growing. They may be dancing, hiding, shining, or even asking for help. And the best of all is that these secrets are within anyone's reach. You don't need to be a scientist to marvel at the world of plants. You just need to have attentive eyes and an open mind to the small and big surprises that nature has in store for us. After all, who knows what else the plants are up to while we are not looking?